Hello. So this is a little practice, just about 10 to 15 minutes long, that might be useful to do first thing in the morning. So focused on the low back to mid back area, really being gentle with that. Um, and just to say that, of course, each day that you take this practice, make sure that you're feeling up to it. And remember, you don't have to follow the practice pose by pose slavishly, but to decide what's right for you and your body at the time that you are practicing. So the important thing is that you work with the breath as we normally do, and to work slowly and with awareness. So we aim to get your attention right inside your body before we start to move it. And to do that, let's bring our attention to the breath. So let's come to standing if you're not already there, and looking to stand with the feet a comfortable distance apart. So have a feel into what's right for your body right now. And then once you think you found that right placement for your feet, really feel into the contact points between the feet and the ground. So just feel into the weight of the feet and into the ground. Notice the contact points. So are the tips of the toes or the pads at the base of the toes settled on the ground? Can you feel the balls of the feet on the ground? Can you feel the heels planted on the ground? And notice whether you tend to sink a little bit more weight into one foot or the other. And if you do, can you ease yourself back to a place where both feet are taking weight equally? And put a little bit of softness in the knees, just a slight bend in the knees, and really going forwards through this practice. There's always to be a micro bend, at least at the knees. We don't want to hang in the ligaments. That's not good for the knees. So from here, just feeling into the rest of the body. Notice the hips, notice the tummy, notice the spine. Think about your spine lifting and lengthening, growing taller. Let's guide the shoulders up towards the ears, guide them back, drop them down, rest the hands by the sides, arms hanging loosely from the shoulders. Lengthen up through the neck so the crown of the head reaches for the ceiling, the chin is parallel with the floor. And then if you're happy to close the eyes, we could do that. So we shut off everything around us that we might otherwise see and might otherwise distract us. If it doesn't suit you to close the eyes, if the balance doesn't work, or for some other reason you don't want to close the eyes, just have a soft focus. Look at something vaguely in front of you. And draw your attention to your breath. And we're not trying to control the breath, measure it, force it. We're simply feeling the breath as it enters and as it leaves the body. How does the breath feel? Where does the breath go? Each time you breathe in, notice where the breath moves easily. Does it flood into the chest? And if it does, how deeply into the chest does that breath go? Does the breath move into the back of the ribs as well as the front? Do you feel movement of the chest, movement of the ribs as you breathe in at the back? Notice whether you feel movement into the sides of the ribs as you breathe in. Or for you, does the breath not seem to flood in easily? Does it feel restricted and heavy, laboured? And if that's the case, breathing however you need to breathe, but just breathing with awareness. So if breathing is easy, let's use the breath to lead us in our gentle warm-ups. So as you breathe out next, let's take that chin round over the right shoulder into a little bit of a twist. Breathing in to come back to the middle. And breathing out, take that chin round over the left shoulder. And breathing in back to the middle. Another couple of times in each direction, just so we put a gentle twist into the neck, but we're not forcing it. We're just feeling our way in. Waking the part of the spine that is the neck. Breathing into the middle. Breathing out to the twist. And when we come back to the middle for that third time, we can drop the right ear towards the right shoulder as we breathe out and breathe in to come back up to the middle. Breathing out, left ear towards left shoulder. Breathing in to the middle. Twice more in each direction. Just experiencing the right amount of side stretch for your neck. And then when we come back up to the middle, after that third time to the left, dropping the chin towards the chest, just let the neck and the head hang forward, soften through the shoulders. As the chin comes to rest towards the chest, link in with the next out breath and slide the hands down the thighs a little bit, just as far as the knees, those knees staying soft. Wait for an in breath and slide those hands back up again, allowing the shoulders to widen and the breastbone to lift and the gaze to lift, and breathe out and slide down just as far as the knees. And again, breathe in to come up, grow taller, grow wider through the chest, lift the gaze, and again, breathing out. Hands coming just as far as the knees, and then inhale to uncurl and pause there. Let those arms drop, shoulders settle. Taking the hands around the back now, hands onto the low back, fingers pointing down. And then from here, again, keeping those knees bent, let's guide the hips forwards and lift the chest and lift the gaze. So you feel this as a front body extension. And then come back up to hips above heels. Again, guiding those hips forward as we breathe in, lift and lift the gaze. And then coming back to hips above heels. One more time, soften those knees, guide the hips forwards and lift. And then come back to where we started, standing in a nice upright posture with that micro bend at the knees. So hands on the sides of the body now, and stepping those feet a little bit wider. With the hands on the sides, let's soften the right hand down as you breathe out. Let the left hand slide up and then breathe in back up to the middle. And breathing out to go the other way, just building ourselves into a little side stretch. Inhaling to the middle. Exhaling to soften into the side stretch on the other side. And just feel into how your back is responding to this. Gently doing it. Next time that left hand slides down the left leg, we make our way back up to the middle and pause here for a moment. And from here, keeping those legs that little bit, or those feet a little bit wider apart than hip width, we're going to bring ourselves into a loose, twisty, flowing movement. So the important thing about this is to lift one heel, and it should feel natural as you decide which heel lifts. But by lifting the heel, we protect the knee. So if we were to do this with the feet firmly planted on the floor, we can twist the knee. We don't want to upset the knees. So just let those arms swing rather like empty coat sleeves as you drape your coat around your shoulders. And then depending how the balance is, you might like to turn to look at the wall behind you as you twist. And you might like to swing those arms a little bit higher. And slowing it all down until we come to a stop and the arms are hanging by the sides again. And then from here, let's start to make these movements a little bit bigger. So bringing the hands onto the thighs again, taking the chin towards the chest, and with that all-important bend at the knees, let's sink a little bit further down as we breathe out now. And releasing the head towards the floor. So the hands don't have to go all the way down to the floor, just as far as feels good for you. And as we come into this forward fold, when you get to the point where you think you're not going to go any further, make sure those knees are bent and slowly returning all the way up. And when we get up high, release the arms up overhead, reach upwards, look upwards, drop the hands down again, back to those thighs, sliding the hands down again into your forward fold. And let's hang around here. Knees soft, neck soft, head hanging, arms relaxed. Again, you don't have to go any further than is comfortable. But see if you can feel a little bit of releasing and lengthening down the spine. Hang around here for a couple of breaths. And then returning, slowly doing it, knees bent, draw those hands up the body. Carefully doing it, release the arms up in the air and stretching up, reaching up. Stretch up with the right arm, then stretch up with the left arm, as if you're trying to touch something on the ceiling. Reaching and stretching, reaching and working. And next time you reach up with that left arm, draw the body back together again. Roll through those shoulders. And then make your way down onto hands and knees, coming to the floor. So when we get onto hands and knees, let's spread the fingers wide. Take the hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, knees hip width apart. And then let's work to some cat and cow poses. So the important thing to remember about cat and cow poses, when we do the cow, we drop the tummy towards the floor and the two ends pop up. But if you happen to have the sort of back that is very flexible and you dip easily in that lumbar area, in the waist area, it's probably not a great idea to push yourself into this pose. So it might seem very easy, but it's not necessarily the right thing for your back. It's better to ease to something neutral than push through that lumbar, because that simply weakens the low back. So if that is you, focus on getting the best out of this tucking of tail, rounding of back, chin towards chest. Breathe in to come back to neutral. And breathe out again, tail under. Arch the back, chin towards chest. Breathe in to roll forwards. Breathe out to tuck under. As you work with this, really think about what your spine is doing the whole time. Tuck that tail under. Let the arch creep up from bottom to top. As you come back to your neutral spine, lead with the tail. And then when it's time to finish that, ease your bottom back towards your heels, extend your arms away, rest your forehead on the floor into what we call a child's pose. Just take a couple of breaths there as you take the weight off your wrists. And then when you've had that little bit of a break, we come back to this all fours square position. And let's see if we can do some work to wake up our core muscles. So to start with, let's stretch the right foot back. So we need to keep the toes on the floor for just a moment. The toes tucked under, the heel pushing back, and this time we are straightening the knee. From here, lift that right foot away from the ground. Keep pushing back with that heel and feeling some work going on in the back of the leg, maybe some work going on in the glutes. But we're avoiding dropping the tummy here. We need those core muscles working for you. And then see if you can extend your left arm in the opposite direction. So right leg, left arm. And we're looking for a nice straight line from the fingers to the heel. The nose pointing at the floor. If you look at something on the floor, hopefully that will help with your balance. And we hold this while we work those core muscles. And of course, we're breathing. And then we can lower the hands and the knee back to the ground, and we can set ourselves up for the other side. Left leg goes back, toes tucked under. And then lift the left foot away from the ground. Feel the core muscles go on, the glutes working, muscles down the backs of the legs. And then see if we can challenge the balance by extending the right arm away. So now reaching from right fingertips to left heel. Nice straight line. Feel those tummy muscles working. Keep that set of pelvic floor muscles working. Glutes working. Breathing. Lots to concentrate on. And then coming back to the ground. And then let's see if we can make a little sequence out of this. So let's take that right foot back again, left arm out again, lift that right leg. And then on an out breath, let's lead the elbow and the knee together, curling up. And on the in breath, stretch away, push that heel back. Elbow to knee as we breathe out. Stretch away as we breathe in, push the heel back. Breathing out, elbow and knee together, breathing in to stretch. Breathing out, elbow to knee, breathing in to stretch. Last one, elbow to knee, breathe in to stretch, and then come back to the ground and set yourself up for the other side. Left leg, right arm. Breathe out, elbow to knee. Breathe in to stretch. Elbow to knee as you breathe out. Breathe in to stretch. And hopefully we've done about 5 on that side too. And we can come back into our child's pose, bottom back, head down, relax the arms, relax the wrists. And then once we're ready to move on, take the hands back underneath the shoulders again, toes tucked under. Let's switch on the core muscles right at this moment. Draw up pelvic floor, draw in tummy muscles. Let the bottom float up and back into down facing dog. When we come to the down facing dog, let the head drop. Keep that core engaged, so pelvic floor on, tummy muscles engaged. Rise up onto the tiptoes, drop one heel down as you bend the opposite knee. Rise up, drop down, and all the time we keep the weight back. So we're not allowing the weight to creep over the arms, we're pushing it back, reaching back with that tail. Dropping low with the heels, and those heels don't have to come all the way to the floor. Just see what feels good. And the breath is flowing. And the arms are strong. And at any point you don't feel safe or you think you've done enough, we gently lower back to the floor, back onto our knees, back into child's pose. Weight off wrists. Couple of breaths there. And then from here, let's come over onto our back. And as we come onto the back, let the head rest, and we're aiming to keep the head on the floor for the whole time now. So with those knees bent, let's bring the right knee in over the chest as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, lift the nose towards the knee. As we breathe in, extend the foot up and the arms come back to the floor behind. Breathing out, straight leg lower, bring the arms down by the sides. Breathing in, that right knee comes in over the chest. Breathe out, nose to knee. Breathe in, arms go back, leg goes up. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in, knee comes in over the chest. Breathe out, nose to knee. Breathe in, straighten the leg. Breathe out to lower. Then rebend that right knee, foot on the floor, so that we can do 3 of these with the left side. Breathe out to lift the nose towards the knee. Breathe in to extend the leg, arms go back. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in, knee in over the chest. Breathe out, nose to knee. Breathe in, arms back, leg goes up. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in, knee in over chest. Breathe out, nose to knee. Breathe in, arms up and back, leg goes up. And breathe out to lower. And then we move on to the 2 legs together. Breathe in, 2 knees in over the chest. Breathe out, use the tummy muscles to lift the nose towards the knee. Breathe in, legs go up, arms go back. And here it's far safer to bend the knees and take the feet to the floor if you've got a poorly back. Breathe in, knees in over the chest. Breathe out, nose to knees. Breathe in, extend those legs up, arms go back. Breathe out, gently bending the knees to bring the feet to the floor. One more, knees in over the chest as you breathe in. Breathe out, nose to knees. Breathe in, arms back, legs up. And breathe out, arms come down, bend the knees to take the feet to the floor. And with those feet, taking them out to a roughly mat width apart. So there's lots of space between the feet, lots of space between the knees. Have the arms a little way away from the body and palms facing up. And then rolling the knees to the right as you breathe out, just as far as feels comfortable. Breathing in, we push the tummy into the ground as the knees come up to the middle. Breathing out, the knees roll the other way. Breathing into the middle. Breathing out, knees to the right. Breathing into the middle. So as you do this, it may be that you roll your nose in the opposite direction to the knees. Breathe into the middle. Breathe out to the twist. And you might find as the body warms up, the knees seem to go a little bit further and the back is happier with the twist. But we're not forcing any of this. Just go as far as the back and the knees are happy. Relaxing into this. And then to finish, we bring the knees back to the middle. Bring those knees back in over the chest. One hand on top of each knee, and then roll through the knees, roll through the hips, keeping the legs relaxed and passive. See if you can guide the knees with the hands rather than the legs deciding and controlling the movement. And changing direction with those knees. And coming to a finish. And rolling over onto one side. Slowly coming up to sitting. Ready to sit up straight, sit up tall, and close the eyes if you're happy to as you come back to the breath. Just feeling the breath now. Feeling the body now. Noticing how you feel now in your body compared with the way you felt before you started the practice. And when you're ready, allow those eyes to drift open again. And make sure that you are properly awake and alert, ready to take on the rest of your day. Namaste.